Allison Hyde, stlprostretch.com, and today we're going to talk about quad stretching, different ways of getting into your quads. And the first thing we're going to start out with today is called a quad pump, and basically we're going to warm up our quads. Why? Because muscles like to be stretched when they're warm. And if you haven't been exercising, you can start right in, just zoom forward and go to the basic quad stretch, the couple that we're going to do. But quad pumping is, we're basically going to use like our body as a Nautilus machine. So what I want you to do is lift one leg, hold the back of your thigh. You can use a strap if you need to. And you're going to let this leg go kind of limp and let the other leg go, cross the ankle over and let it go kind of limp. Actually totally limp, because this is our resistance. This is going to be our weight. So we're going to put that weight on the other ankle, and now you're going to lift up the first leg. I'm using my right to lift up and down. Just slowly lift up and down. This should not cause pain, and if it is causing pain, then just skip it. I have a little bit of chondromalacia in my knee, so sometimes I feel it pop, sometimes it goes away after a little bit, but we want to do this until we feel like the muscle is starting to fatigue a little bit. And then guess what? We're going to change direction. So I'm going to kind of roll onto my right hip, and I'm going to kick out to the side. So I'm kicking out. I'm just slowly going up and down. This leg is dead weight, just dead weight. And I'm kind of using my arm as a prop. You'll be able to see it better on the other side. I should have done the other leg first. And then, as soon as I start feeling that muscle warm up, it starts to fatigue a little bit. Then I'm going to roll over to the other kick, and I'm going to kick out, and I'm kind of turn my foot out. Okay? So I'm going to kick and turn. And that's going to get that vastus medius oblique. A BMO. Hope I got that right. Haven't been studying my anatomy much lately. Until we start to feel a little bit of a burn here on the inside of the knee. Upwards. That little teardrop muscle that you see, it's like really developed in like bikers usually. And then we're going to do the other side. So, right, ankle crosses over. I'm going to grab the back of my thigh. I'm going to lift my left leg up. My right leg is dead weight. I know you start when you start, this really feels like nothing. It feels like absolutely nothing. But after you get going and you start doing it for a while, you're like, oh yeah, my muscle is actually getting tired. That was my crunchy knee. I'm hearing all kinds of crunchy. Crunching isn't necessarily bad. It can be. As long as it doesn't hurt. At least that's what I've been told by people older than me. They're all crunchy everywhere. They just say, get used to it, as long as it doesn't hurt. And then, once my muscle starts to warm up and I'm feeling the fatigue a little bit, I'm just going to set my elbow out here and let my thigh roll to the side and kick up and down. Kind of kicking out to the side. We're just catching different parts of the quad. And actually, I'm feeling a little bit my VMO here too, so it's kind of interesting. And then we're going to roll to the other hip, and I don't really need to do anything with my hands here. I'm just going to kick out, and again, that foot's going to turn a little bit. And I think we're done. Okay, so now we're going to get into the easy quad stretch. This is for the lateral quad. I'm going to take my left foot, I'm going to put it out to the side, 45-degree angle away from you. Okay, we want at least a 90-degree bend in the knee. We don't want it out here. If you're really flexible, we can pull it in to the outside of the hip, but
I would say start 90-degree bend in the knee, 45-degree angle out away from you. Cross the other ankle over. I'm going to be pushing my knee into my ankle and the knee and the ankle into the knee. So my knee is pushing out like that. My ankle is pushing that way. So it's a hook. And you should feel the two kind of fighting with each other, pulling, wanting to pull apart. So if my foot slipped, that's what would happen. So we want to catch that in there. And now we're going to rotate the knee in until you feel a little bit of a stretch. Try to pull your belly in. This hip's going to pop up a little bit. Just try to pull your belly in to minimize it. And then rotate open. And here you get a little bit of a glute stretch on the opposite side. So moving in and open. Now I'm not feeling a whole lot of stretch right now, but I am feeling some, mainly up here. So I'm going to take my foot and I'm going to pull it into my hip. I realize not everybody can do that, but it will get deeper into the whole quad muscle. And again, you don't have to go all the way down. We work within our range of motion. This should not hurt. If this hurts, then stop doing it and skip to the next video. And then we're going to switch sides. So, now my right foot's out, 45-degree angle away from me, left ankle crosses over. I'm pushing my ankle into the knee is pushing into the ankle. And I'm going to rotate in and open. Ooh, much tighter on this side. So make mental note, which side is tighter. It's so funny, I always call this the easy quad stretch because most people can do it, but it's not necessarily easy for me because, we all either are natural external rotators or internal rotators. And as I'm bringing my knee down toward the floor, that's internal rotation. And I don't have as much internal rotation as I do external rotation. You should, if you were a perfect, specimen, human being, you would have equal on both directions. But most people either it's easier for them to rotate in or it's easier for them to rotate out. There's nothing wrong with that. We all of our skeletons are different. Okay, we are going onward to the next quad stretch. Now this one's really intense, I will say. If you have problems with your putting pressure on your knee, I would get yourself a big bolster or a big stack of blankets. I'm just going to use this pillow. And I'm going to put the pillow right in front of my chair. Now you can do this at a wall. You can do this in front of your couch. You just want the pillow to be bumped right up next to your chair. I'm going to grab some yoga blocks. You don't necessarily need them. You really don't need them at all if you have good balance. Or, you know what? Hey, foam roller works too. Now, usually I try to tell people to get into this stretch from their hands and knees. And from hands and knees, I'm going to bump a knee up, and then my foot goes up the chair. Actually, I'm going to turn this around so that you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So I'm on hands and knees. I'm going to put a knee on the pillow, my foot's on the chair, and then I'm going to pull my foot through. Now, a lot of people cannot get into this position the way I just described, so I'm going to tell you how to do it without coming from all fours. The other way is you put your knee on the bolster or the blanket or the pillow or whatever you've got, and you put your other foot out to the side. I'm going to grab either hand on the floor, hand on a chair, hand on a foam roller, and I'm going to turn and flip my foot up. Some people find it a little bit easier to get into this position. Once we're here, I will say the farther away the knee is from the chair, the easier this is. The closer your knee is to the chair, the harder it's going to be.
I'm already feeling a stretch, so I'm not going to move any closer. Just getting into the position, I'm feeling a huge stretch, but we're going to add resistance and movement. So I'm going to push my foot into the chair as my body moves forward so that my quad is working, is actively like contracting, and then I'm going to keep pushing my foot into the chair and back it up. I'm going to do the opposite of sticking my butt out so that I get that deep, deep, deep stretch. If you stick your butt out, you're really only getting that quad up near the knee. You're not getting the whole quad up to the hip. So I'm just going to move back and forth. I have tried in classes doing, well, a lot of times we'll do a bunch of other stretches before we do this. I usually leave this one for last. And the times that we have done the quad pump before we do this stretch, everybody tells me it's so much easier to do, which is why I added the quad pump in, because the muscle is nice and warmed up. And then we're going to switch sides. So how did I do that? Either hands and knees and bump up the foot, hold the other one through, or I'm going to have to turn away from you right now. I'm facing away from you. I have my leg out to the side. I'm going to put my foam roller over here, and I'm going to flip, and there we go. So here I am. I'm going to just take a second or two, like, 15 seconds for my muscle to get used to being in this position, because right now it's a little bit of a shock. And then I'm going to start stretching. It should not hurt in this position. If it does, I realize a lot of people cannot be on their knee like this. Just try adding a bunch of padding underneath. Try moving away. Some people actually get a nice hip flexor stretch and upper quad stretch just coming forward, which is actually the contraction of the muscle, then coming back. So work on whichever one you want. If you're feeling a great stretch coming out here like this, then focus on that. Just always keep this foot pushing into the chair the whole time so that you can actually be doing a true resistance stretch. And I didn't talk about what resistance stretching is today, but basically it's when a muscle goes from short to long while it's contracting against a force. In this case, it's the chair. I'm hoping this feels fantastic for you today. I'm loving it. This is probably one of my favorite stretches, but they're all good. Okay, so that's it for today. We had the quad pump, the supine lateral quad stretch, the easy quad stretch, and then the quad stretch against the wall. You can use a wall for this or a chair. I just find it a little bit more comfortable. My foot's not crammed up against the wall, but you could definitely use a wall for that last stretch. Hopefully you're gonna do it. This is one of the tightest muscles, so practice away, and I'll see you next time. Happy stretching.